YouTube, what's up? It's your boy Naja coming back at y'all with yet another video. And yes, you saw the title. Today we're talking about what is your ideal body weight. Let's go. So the first thing we're going to go over is where the standard of your ideal weight actually came from. People usually use the BMI now to figure out where your range should be. So in the 19th century, a guy named Adolf Quetelet, hopefully I pronounced his name right, he was the century's most influential statisticians out there. He ended up figuring out that people 10% taller were actually tended to be about 21% heavier, which the original claim was 10% taller will make you 10% heavier. So with that came the BMI chart. So if you've ever been to the doctor, usually you're going to see them pull up the BMI chart, or even if you don't know, this is what they're using to identify if you're overweight, your ideal weight, or you're obese, or anything in the middle. But a lot of people have problems with this because they feel like it's inaccurate because it doesn't take into account people's body fat percentage. A couple notable people who are overweight or obese on the BMI chart is one, LeBron James. I'm sure everybody knows LeBron James. He stands at 6'9", weighing 250 pounds, and he has a BMI of 27, which puts him at overweight. I don't think LeBron's overweight. The man's a total beast. The next guy we have is Travis Kelce. He stands at 6'5", and he's 250. And he has a BMI of 30, which puts him at obese. Now, both of these guys are athletes. They're in their prime of their sports, and their body does exactly what they need them to do in order to perform at a high level. Now, although the BMI chart can be inaccurate at sometimes, it is a good starting point to figure out what range that you need to be in to be your ideal weight. Through statistics, it is shown that obesity has increased over time. In 1960s, it was roughly 13% of people were classified as obese, and now in 2018, it's 43%. In addition, nearly 10% of Americans were morbidly obese in 2018 versus in 1960, it was only 1%. And I think it's kind of hard to deny that obesity has increased throughout the years, so the BMI chart can be useful. So to the big question, what is the ideal weight for you? I like to figure this out by taking into account 4 characteristics that we're about to go over now. So the first one is bone structure. Everybody is not the same. We don't have the same bodies. Some people have denser bones, some people have smaller bones. Chances are if you have denser bones, you're gonna weigh more, since bones weigh more than fat. And if bones weigh more than fat, you're probably gonna need to pack on a little bit more weight in order to be your ideal body weight versus somebody who has smaller bones. So just because you're the same height as somebody doesn't necessarily mean that you need to be the same weight to be your perfect size. The second thing to take into account is muscle mass. Now, muscle mass is also denser than fat, so you can usually look a lot better if you pack on weight while you have a good body composition with a lot of muscle mass. But I will warn you that having an excessive amount of muscle mass is also detrimental to your health, or it can be. It could put a strain on your internal organs. Having a lot of weight on you in general is just not a good idea. But if you're natural, you shouldn't have to worry about that. You'll usually reach your genetic limit before you even get close to those bodybuilder type of numbers. But usually if you can maintain a good body composition while maintaining your body fat percentage at healthy levels, you should be fine for your ideal weight. Now, the chart I'm about to put up on the screen shows the ideal body fat percentage for men and women aged 20 to 29. For the women, as you can see, an excellent body fat percentage is 14 to 16.5. And then for men, it's 8 to 10.5. Now, this is going to go up incrementally as you age, usually about like 1 to 2 percentage points. But if you stay in that range, you should be okay. The next thing is, what are you training for? I rarely to ever see an Olympic marathon runner who has a ton of weight on them and still does great at their sport. It's just not conducive for them to have a lot of weight on them. Now, if you're strength training and you like to be a power lifter, it might not be ideal for you to be the strongest man in the world if you only weigh 150 pounds. You're probably going to have to put on a lot of muscle, and that's going to also include you putting on a decent amount of fat. If it's good for you to perform, let's say like LeBron James, he's labeled as overweight, but that's the ideal body fat percentage and body weight that he needs to be to perform at a high level. You need to also take that into consideration when you're thinking about your ideal body weight. And the last thing to consider is aesthetics / quality of life. Everybody doesn't concern themselves with great performance metrics. Some people just want to look good and that's their goal. If you're a girl, for instance, sometimes 10 pounds might look a little bit better and give you that curvier physique that you're looking for. If you're a guy and you want to be more like a bulky type of guy, look like a power lifter, you packing on that extra 20 pounds might help, as long as you consider your body fat percentage, you're checking in with your doctor saying everything's okay, then you are at your ideal body weight. So in conclusion, when you're looking at the BMI chart, make sure that you include these other factors to find out what your ideal weight is. It could vary drastically depending on person, between genetics, what you're looking for, what your goals, your height, your weight, all that stuff. It all matters when you're thinking about your ideal body weight. But chances are, if you're interested in the ideal body weight, you're gonna want to know how to get your legs right as well. So you want to check out some of the best leg exercises. Click this video right here. I appreciate y'all for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.